What up, what up? It's your boy TrackFingers, pianist, composer, producer, songwriter. We're going on a new journey. This is 2024, it's in March 2024 as I'm recording this. It's a whole new journey, it's a whole new everything. So give y'all a life update of what's been going on in, I guess, my world. A quick about me video. Just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Jay, artist name is TrackFingers. Born and raised in Portland, Oregon. I really got my start into piano when I was like 4 or 5 years old. My mom had bought me this Casio keyboard with like 100 songs loaded on there. And I seemed to gravitate towards the classical one. I remember messing around with it and learning how to play the songs that was already preloaded on there. I basically slowed down the tempo of the songs and then taught myself how to play. So I'm playing like classical music at like 8, 9 years old. And then it transitioned from that into learning how to do covers because, you know, I wanted to play songs that like my friends liked and that I liked and enjoyed and listened to. So I started doing covers like on YouTube. I started playing covers when I was in high school. Around the same time when I actually started this YouTube channel is when I started doing covers. And I was really just playing by ear for real. You know, I didn't have anyone to teach me, so I was like listening to how the songs were being played and trying to copy it on the keys as best I could. And that's really like how I started learning these songs that I like. And now it's turned into like, you know, making beats and just composing songs, like things like that. And if you go on my channel, you can see where I did like lo-fi beats. But I mainly started this page because I didn't have a teacher. Like I didn't have anybody showing me how to play piano. So I just posted these videos on this page so I could go back and look at them. This past year, 2023, I dropped my first ever single called The Night Is Young. It's a single where I actually wrote lyrics and I was actually singing on it. And that was something that singing and things like that was something I started doing like way back during COVID, where we just had like hella downtime. So I started learning how to write, downloaded instrumentals and just wrote to them. And I took singing lessons around 2021. And that's just been something that I've been low-key working on the last like, I guess 3-4 years now. Shout out to my boy Sean, AKA Q Sane. He helped me write the second verse. Shout out to Pat Washington back in Little Rock, Arkansas. He helped me produce and compose the track. That's like a whole new lane for me, is like songwriting, producing, and singing. Putting like all that together is like a whole new thing for me. But I'm excited like of this part of the journey though. It's been interesting, I would say. It's been like really interesting to get like to this point. Because right now, I'm mainly like just focused on like that. Go back and look at this channel, you see it's like all covers and like all piano covers, it's beats, it's all kind of stuff. But mainly I'm just more so getting into like the singer, songwriter, producer kind of lane, things like that. That's just what I love to do. I still might drop a cover every now and then if I just find a banger I want to play, you know. Back like in 2018, my boy Sean, I remember him calling me. He's like, bro, I want to like do an album and I want you to produce it. And I didn't really know anything about producing at the time. I didn't know nothing about it. But he's like, bro, I want you to do it because you know how to play keys. And I'm just like, all right, like, let's do it. So we ended up dropping an album back in 2018. I produced like the whole thing on like a little iPad. Like it's all I had. It was an iPad and a MIDI keyboard. That's it. Matter of fact, oh, here we go. First album we ever did was on this tablet. It was literally on FL Studio for the tablet. You can download FL on here. And legit, like, we did a whole project. I did a whole album like off of this. Crazy. He just put out his second album and I produced 5 tracks on there and even rapped on one, and which is like crazy to even think about. I'll put a link to that in the description below. One of the songs is like, it's been catching on, people really like lately. It's called A Baby, where I did a verse on that, produced a track, Sean did a verse, and that song has been going pretty crazy lately. People like really messing with it. I use a Yamaha P125 keyboard, digital keyboard. I love the Akai MPK Mini. This is like the MIDI keyboard that I use. KRK speakers, the MacBook Pro is pretty much my setup. Yamaha headphones, and a Volt One, the Volt One interface by Universal Audio's, same company that makes the Apollo interface, and my Apollo, what's it called? Apollo's, not Apollo, I'm tripping. The Aston, the Spirit mic. This stuff consumes my life, man. That's pretty much where we're at with it. But aside from music, just a little bit about me. Books is like my favorite thing. I love things on mindset, self-development. Like one of my favorite books right now. Let me go get it actually. A few of my favorite books right now. Right now I got, this one is a big one for me right now. It's called The Artist's Way. It's by Julia Cameron. This is like one of my favorite books right now. Like if you're an artist, if you're like, you feel like you're blocked as an artist, this will get you unblocked and in the flow of like creativity, I swear. I got the recommendation for this book like right before I came out to LA. Creativity is like on fire right now. This is a difficult read, by the way. Like this is not an easy book, but it's a good one though. This is a really, really good one. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill is probably like my all-time like favorite book. I read this at least like once or twice a year. Like I go to this book. Like I've read this book so many times. There's so many gems in this. But really this book has helped me expand like my vision for like, you know, my art, my creativity, just like my mind, just staying motivated just in general. Because it's all about like your thinking, like your thought process, like and your vision for your goals, what you want to do, getting specific, getting clear on what you want to do. It's like my favorite book for that. And the 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. I absolutely love this one too. Also like good for like mindset as well. Talks about also the same thing, kind of principles that Think and Grow Rich talks about, getting clear like on your goals. I've read that one a ton of times too. I love to work out, I love to go to the gym. Ran track back in high school. I did the long jump when I was in high school. I did it for about 5 years or so. And I actually long jumped over at the University of Central Arkansas back in 2014. I got hurt, and that's why I stopped doing the long jump. So no more track for me, but I'm still in the gym. Like I still work out. I got my protein shake over there. The name TrackFingers actually is a play on words. Where that name had came from initially. I started posting videos to YouTube around like 2011, 2013, right in there. I remember like wanting to like start to brand myself per se. So I didn't want to go with something like kind of basic. I didn't want to just use my name. I wanted to create a name that would just stand out. So at the time, like track, that was like all I knew. I would be running track, and then literally I would be like on stage playing piano, like at a talent show or doing something like that. That's literally how the name came. I was just like, well, I like track. I also like piano, track, and I don't know, keys, fingers. And I don't know what made me think of the name. I really don't know. I was trying to create like a username, like I think on Twitter or something like that. I was trying to create like a a username that would just stand out. So that's where we got it. Like that's really where the name came from. Track is like a play on words, like track and field, and then like, you know, music track. So really like it all worked out. Studied communication with a minor in marketing at University of Central Arkansas, and I dropped out because I didn't really feel like school was like really for me. I just really wanted to create music and just pursue just making music, just figure out this path, figure out this lane. I've been out of school since 2018, here it is 2024, you know, and I've just been working on my craft ever since. 2018, I dropped my first ever piano album. I believe it was about 7 or 8 tracks on there. Following that, 2020, I think 2019 is when I dropped my second piano covers album. Has about 10 or 12 tracks on there. And then my most recent one back in 2022, my Piano Covers 3 album has about, I think, 12 tracks on there as well. And in between that, I've been making, like, you know, lo-fi beats. If you've been following my YouTube or keeping up with it, you know, I've been making lo-fi beats and things like that. First original single, The Night Is Young, I dropped that just last year, 2023. So in between, you know, all those things, I've also been helping my friend Sean. Shout out to Sean, aka Q Sane, helping him with his projects and helping him with his music as well. So I've just been, you know, making beats with him. We've been locked in since about 2018 too. I've produce the tracks and things like that. He rap on them. We just got our own thing going when it comes to that. And just last year, 2023, now I made probably like the biggest decision I ever made. I was working at a call center, and I decided to quit and just go all in on my passion. Just quit. I'm like, you know what? It's gonna move to LA and I'm gonna figure this thing out. It's been the best decision I've ever made so far. I mean, this has been an amazing experience. So I've been out here for like the last 4 months. I moved from Arkansas, where I was staying at the time, out here to LA. And it's been a great experience so far. It's not perfect. It's up and down. It's up and down, but honestly, it's dope. Really, it's dope. Just be out here with a whole bunch of creative people. I feel like my ideas have been going even more nonstop because there's so many just artistic, creative people. Creative inspirations: Kanye West, J. Cole, Drake, Big Sean, Metro Boomin, Zaytoven, favorite producers. And so those are some of my favorite artists I like. I guess when it comes to music, I've always just wanted to be able to create my own thing. I've always kind of seen myself as more than just being able to play the keys. I got into doing beats, and then got into writing songs, and now it's turning into basically all of this. Every time I just go in the studio and create, the vision for what I want to do just continues to grow, it expands, it just builds. And that's really exciting to think about, and to it's just dope. I can't complain. But yeah, some of my favorite hobbies: I love playing video games. I freaking love video games, specifically old ones, old classic video games. Top Gear 2 on the Super Nintendo, Street Fighter 2, Super Mario World. Oh my goodness, those are my games. I love the Nintendo 64, I love the Nintendo DS. I love just old games, retro games. I love that type of vibe. I love that. One of my favorite things to do is go to arcades. I could go to arcade and I could just mess around in there for 2 hours. I freaking love video games. Low key want to get a PS5, but I don't even know. I just kind of like the retro vibe, the old games. There's something about that. There's something about the older games. I freaking love Pokemon. Oh my God, Emerald, Ruby, Fire Red, all of those on the on the Game Boy SP, Game Boy Advance. That's what it is. Game Boy Advance. Yeah, that. Don't get no better than that. Fire. Favorite cartoon all time is SpongeBob. More specific, SpongeBob 1999 till about 2004, 2005. That little span, oh my goodness, classic SpongeBob. It don't get no better than that. And the funny thing is them jokes, all of those jokes hit way different now that I'm older. Cause I swear, they really weren't that funny back then, but they're hilarious now. I crack up laughing at anything SpongeBob related now. Oh my God, so I love old cartoons Cartoon Network, Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, Ed, Edd n Eddy, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, Fairly Odd Parents, Jimmy Neutron. I just love old classic shows like that. And anime, can't forget about anime. Yu-Gi-Oh, one of my favorite ones. Dragon Ball Z, easy. Naruto is fire too. I'm getting in more into that one too. But that's a commitment, low key. That show is kind of a commitment. It's several seasons to it. But yeah, I hadn't watched that one all the way through. But yeah, Naruto is fire too. One of my homies put me on that. I love watching old Disney Pixar movies, the classic ones. You got Aladdin, Mulan, Bugs Life, Toy Story, Monsters Inc. I mean, I'm forgetting some. There's so many. Yeah, I mean, those are just a few, but I love old movies like that, cartoon movies like that. I love watching that stuff. It's so dope. I love memes. I love watching vines, old vines. I love funny stuff. I like I like things that make me laugh. I always feel like life is way too short to just be sad all the time. You gotta have some humor in it, things that make you laugh. But aside from that, I love just spending time with some of my close friends and things like that when I'm not, creating music or making content. I love just doing stuff like going for a walk or just going to the park or just going to art museums and stuff like that, where I'm really just chilling, just catching a little vibe. I get a lot of inspiration from just not being in the studio creating, or it be just having a conversation with a friend or doing some traveling or just whatever. I get a ton of inspiration from things that's outside the studio. But like that's those some things I do to like self-care, detach things like that from an art, come back to it and just stay fresh and just stay creative with it. Thanks for tuning into the video. If you were vibing with this, feel free to like, comment, subscribe. I'm definitely going to be uploading to YouTube a lot more. Thanks for staying tapped in. Once again, it's your boy TrackFingers, pianist, composer, producer, songwriter. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I post a lot on those platforms as well. Till next time, peace.